My name is Alex from Statements by Alex, and today we're going to do a pick a card reading. So before we begin, let's close your eyes, take a few mindful deep breaths, and go ahead and see what pile you are most drawn to. This is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. All right, if you chose group 1, you chose the deck with amethyst. Amethyst is an anxiety stone. It's supposed to help curb our anxiety. It's supposed to help us process grief, and amethyst is also known as a sobriety stone, so it can help us overcome addiction and addictive personalities in ourselves and others. Oh, and these cards are just flying out, so already off the rip I feel like there could be some anxiety going on. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, when the cards fall out hard and fast like this, it's usually because the energy is hard and fast, and there's a lot of conflict possibly. So far we have 8 of Cups being crossed by 10 of Wands. And actually, let's pull a couple. Oh, yep, let's get a couple more before we begin to interpret the energy. Oh my gosh, these are just falling. Okay. And we got a couple extra. Okay, so the first card we pulled is the 8 of Cups, and it's being crossed by 10 of Wands. When we pull an 8 of Cups in a reading, 8s have to do with changing direction and moving on, and Cups have to do with emotions and relationships. So I feel like you're questioning whether or not you want to move on from something. So this could either be a relationship, or this could be just wherever you are in life, your soul is ready to move on from it. However, you feel like you might have a lot of responsibilities and burdens and obligations, and you're not quite sure whether or not you can leave your current situation. What's kind of created this situation, past events and then subconscious events. Our subconscious events, we have a 7 of Swords. So I feel like whenever we have a 7 of Swords, it either means that there's somebody in our energy field who is deceitful, somebody that we feel like we can't trust, or we're lying to ourselves about something. And then we also have a 9 of Cups in reverse. So this is being blocked from wish fulfillment. So you could feel like you're being blocked from whatever it is that your heart desires. So whether, that could be a relationship, that could be something else you're passionate about. Maybe the person that you're seeing is somebody that you can't trust, somebody who's deceitful. The present energy is a Page of Wands in reverse. Page of Wands is fire energy. Pages can also bring messages. So you might be receiving a message from a fire sign. So this could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or somebody with those energies in their charts. Fire energy is impulsive. When it's in reverse, it can be narcissistic, it can be impatient, it can be angry. Pages can also indicate a more immature person or a younger person, or a relationship that's in its newer stages. And then since it's upside down, it can mean that you feel like there's some kind of block in the relationship, and the block could be that you don't really trust this person, or you don't trust yourself about something. Maybe you don't trust your judgment when it comes to them. Incoming energy is Ace of Cups in reverse. So this is when Ace of Cups is upright, it means there's an outpouring of love. We feel an abundance of love in all areas of our life. But when it's in reverse, we feel blocked from that love. So there could be a breakup coming up soon, or you might be falling out of love with somebody. You might feel blocked from love. And when you're blocked from love, when you're blocked from one area because you're looking at something negative, it tends to block our finances. We pulled Ace of Pentacles in reverse here. So this is our internal energy, what's going on internally. And I just feel like you feel like you're blocked from abundance. Like maybe you don't feel worthy of what you want. And that can be common during a Saturn transit. Pluto could be Pluto retrograde could be stirring up feelings of self-doubt and power struggles in relationships, because Pluto is also the planet of transformation. So I feel like this scenario that's going on right now is happening because it's supposed to transform you on some level. And I feel like what it's transforming is your ability to love yourself, and also your ability to attract more resources and to know your worth. external energies. There's an emperor figure, somebody who's a little bit bossy, maybe somebody who's narcissistic, somebody who's controlling, or a dominant personality in your energy field. This is one scenario. Or this could be an Aries energy. This could be, the emperor energy is very king-like, but when he's in reverse, he's not, he's a king who leads by an iron fist instead of, he leads with vinegar instead of honey. He's not really a fun energy to be around, but the emperor, when he's upright, is somebody who trusts in their head and what their head feels, what their logic is telling them versus their emotions. But still, the emperor upright is balanced in that energy. But when he's not upright, he's either in his head way too much to the point where he's cut off from his heart, or he's being irrational and not thinking with his head. So I feel like that's somebody in your energy field, possibly this person that maybe you're in a relationship or you're questioning whether or not you want to move on from. Hopes and fears position. It's a 2 of Wands in reverse. This is the classic card that's like, are you going to stick with what is known, or are you going to step outside of your comfort zone? Are you going to go towards what you know you're worth? Or are you going to stick in this relationship that you're in that's not a wish fulfillment, that it's not keeping you happy because you're afraid of being alone and you don't think that you can find anybody better? That's what this energy is. I feel like there could be a fear of being alone. And again, a fear of trying something new. You could be stubborn about a situation, or just not hopeful that you're going to be able to find somebody who would fulfill that. However, in our final position, we do have a King of Wands. This King of, and then it's coupled next to the Judgment, and then 9 of Wands in reverse. This is a test. This King of Wands could be this current energy, or this test could be about the love that you're trying to attract, or this King of Wands could be your career. This could be like love versus career type thing. Because the King of Wands is a personality. He's inspiring. He's a leader. He's a successful businessman. He's passionate. So this could be a fiery romance. This could be what you want with your current person. Or the current person could be blocking you from achieving this kind of connection that you're really wanting. It's next to Judgment, so, and it's next to 9 of Wands in reverse. So when 9 of Wands is upright, 9 of Wands is the final test, the final obstacle. Things have manifested and they're almost complete. Whatever you want to manifest is almost here. But when this is upright, you're thinking, well, I've got one final test, I can do it. But when it's in reverse, this could be you questioning whether or not it's worth it to stick it out with this King of Wands. Because maybe the person you're with, you can see the potential in them. You know that they could be the King of Wands, but you're being, right now, you've got your Judgment is being activated. This is a very Saturnian energy as well. It also kind of reminds me of a Libra energy, kind of weighing the scales, right or wrong. Also Sagittarian energy, and it's right next to a fire sign. So, and these could be the signs of the person you're in a relationship with. Perhaps this could also be past karma and past history that you have with this king. So it could be that something has happened in the present, or you're just kind of questioning things. You're maybe could be questioning, because there's a slowdown right here, you could be questioning maybe like the long-term future of that relationship that you're in, or how it's affecting your career. This reading has very love and career vibes. So your career could be affecting your love life could be affecting your career, or this message could be for multiple people. So for some people, this could be a relationship reading, and some people, the energy is manifesting as a career reading. So I'm gonna interpret both paths really quickly. First, I'm going to interpret it from the relationship perspective. So you want to move on from somebody, but you might have a lot tied to that person. Maybe you share a home, maybe you share children. There's a lot of obligations, or you might feel like you're the one doing all the work right now. You're carrying the load of this relationship on your back. And that could be because you don't trust the person you're with. Maybe they've done something deceitful in the past, or you feel like they're hiding something, or it could be that you're lying to yourself about them. Maybe you're ignoring your intuition. You've kind of always had an iffy feeling about that. But I feel like that's because, and something, you know, within this relationship, I feel like you didn't get what you wanted in the past. You haven't had your wishes fulfilled in this relationship because, again, you can't trust the person or you don't trust yourself. Page of Wands in reverse. In the present energy, you're waiting for something. Maybe you're waiting for somebody else to take action, or maybe you're afraid to take action. That could be why the page is in reverse, because the Wands energy is active energy. It's impulsive, and it's also knows what it needs to do and it takes action. But when he's in reverse, maybe that action is slowed down. There's some hesitancy to make some kind of decision. You're lacking inspiration. You just don't feel inspired by this relationship or this person anymore, maybe. And then the incoming energy is Ace of Cups. You're not passionate. You don't maybe feel in love with that person, or you feel like they're not giving you love. And that could be affecting your finances and feeling just like you feel locked, kind of trapped from abundance, and just doubting your worth even, or you don't know, they're affecting your career in some way, or you just feel blocked from what you want. The Emperor in reverse, and if this is a relationship reading, I feel like the Emperor in reverse is your partner. It's somebody who could be controlling you, somebody who's ruling with an iron fist, somebody who's bossy, somebody who really you've been putting on a pedestal and giving a lot of your power away to. And I feel like that's because deep down on a subconscious level, you're afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. And I feel like the Saturn transit is saying, you know, the final outcome, if you want to be with a true King of Wands, somebody who's inspiring, somebody who's a leader, somebody who's a true divine masculine, not these little boys, or, you know, or if it's vice versa, if you're a masculine energy and you're looking for a feminine energy, or, you know, feminine, masculine, King of Wands energy is somebody who's a leader, somebody who's inspiring. So if in a relationship reading, this would be some relationship that gives you a sense of completion. You're inspired by this person. Perhaps you both shared the same passions. Perhaps you even are in business together. But in order to get that King of Wands, I feel like you're going to have to really trust your judgment on this person, and you're going to have to stop ignoring your intuition about, you know, stop making excuses for this person and acting like they're going to give you what you want. Because I feel like the judgment, it's like, I feel like you could be ignoring something. Maybe you've put a lot of work into this relationship, and, you know, if he was upright, I would say there's only one final test, but since he's downright, it's kind of like maybe you're feeling weighed down by that energy. I just want to see if there's a final outcome or any other. Actually, we're just going to kind of click. Oh, actually, you know what? Because I want to interpret the career. So for the love relationship, I just want to, oh, that's too many to take. I just want to interpret that King of Wands. Oh my God. That King of Wands energy real quick, and the final outcome for the relationship. I guess it wants me to take more than one. Okay, so Nine of Swords in reverse and Page of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like it's your own limiting beliefs that are blocking you from the love that you desire. It's not necessarily the other person. It's your beliefs about love that are attracting this person into your life, because that person's reaffirming how you feel about yourself. This Nine of Swords energy is about sleepless nights and self-fulfilling prophecies. And Page of Pentacles is saying you can change things, you can invite abundance, you can find long-term stability, but you have to get out of your own way. It's not the other person. Even though it appears like they could be doing something wrong and they're bad vibes, you're attracting that person because there's something inside of you that this person is trying to bring to light within you. And that could be about your own feelings of self-worth, about patterns that have played out in the past, about things that you grew up with, societal beliefs, what you see on TV, your ideas about love, I feel like you have to do some internal digging to figure out where your own blocks are if you want to move out of this energy, because this is, abundance is yours for the taking. And I feel like you're going to hear a good message here soon regarding your finances, career, or a partner who could be bringing you in long-term stability. But you have to get out of your own way first. So I do believe I picked amethyst for a reason for this pile, and amethyst is a crystal that opens the crown chakra and balances the crown chakra. So when your crown chakra is unbalanced, especially this is more common for feminine energies to feel more like they live in the higher chakras in their head, while most unawakened masculine energies, their lower chakras are more activated. So it's like we want to meet in the middle, kind of in the heart area. The other way that you can experience a blocked crown chakra, you might feel you're either too in your head or you're not in your head enough, and you're too practical and you're not allowing spiritual guidance to come through. So either way, whatever spectrum you're on, if you're drawn to this amethyst crystal or pile one, I feel like it's important. It could be a useful tool in your healing. I always recommend jewelry, because when you have a crystal near your auric field, it vibrates at it has a specific vibration and frequency. So when it's by your heart, especially, or by, near the crown chakra, you can either meditate with it up here if you have an amethyst crystal, or you can wear it as a piece of jewelry, which I would recommend, earrings, because they're near your crown, or even your heart, because it's still within your auric field, and it's still recalibrating your frequency and your vibration to the energy of the amethyst, which cures anxiety, relieves anxiety, gives you a feeling of calm and peace, and can help us process grief. So one of the things that could be holding you back in your current relationship is grief. Perhaps you haven't moved on from something in your past, so you keep recreating that past, and that could be from childhood, or that could be from past relationships. And the last thing, it's like there could be an addiction. A lot of people run on autopilot, so there could be alcohol and drugs involved in your relationship. Perhaps your partner is somebody who's into alcohol and drugs, or perhaps you do too. Even if you don't drink or do drugs every single day, all day, every day, which most people think is what defines somebody who has a problem with addiction. Even if you're just doing it once a night, or having a couple drinks a day, or like once every couple days, and you're blacking out only on weekends, it's still addictive behaviors, and it's still things that you're spending your money on and putting your time into, and it still has an effect on your brain, especially alcohol and weed, marijuana. Even though there are healthy benefits for some of these things, also, I would inspire you to do your own research and see the long-term effects of what it has on your brain, because it could be causing blocks in your relationship. So I just want to also do a quick career interpretation of this energy. So if this is more of a career and that relationship part doesn't resonate, then from a career perspective, you could be ready to move on from a job because it's not fulfilling your soul anymore. But you feel like at this job, you're in a well-respected position. You have a lot of responsibilities and obligations there. You could be lying to yourself about whether or not you're really happy there. If this job really brings you fulfillment, or this thing brings you fulfillment, this project brings you fulfillment, this person brings you fulfillment, or there could be somebody shady in that environment. Page of Wands, I feel like in the present moment, you're not feeling inspired. You could be waiting to hear about a career from somebody, or be waiting to hear about a message regarding your career, but there's a slowdown right now. We also, again, have that Saturn retrograde transit, which is earth energy. Things are slowed down, maybe because we're all collectively internalizing the ways we make money, and our value and our worth, and the solid structures and foundations in our life. So that for a lot of people is going to impact their career. Incoming, I feel like this current situation presently, you've been maybe thinking about like how you're not fulfilled, and then I feel like the present energy is basically, the incoming energy is like, well, maybe I am falling out of love with this line of work, and if I'm falling out of love with it, my finances could be affected. Perhaps I'm not making as much as I know that I'm worth. There could be a controlling boss. The Emperor in reverse is a controlling boss figure, or somebody at work who's very controlling or hard to work with, or narcissistic. There's a fear of going after, stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing something different. Let's see this. But at the end of the day, I feel like you can, this is an entrepreneurial energy. So you could be wanting to start your own business. And then Judgment and this Nine of Wands energy is like, you can stay at this job, but you've kind of been there, you've been trying it out for a while. I feel like you know that you're capable of more, or you're worthy. Maybe you're just like scared to do that. So right now, I feel like Judgment and the Nine of Wands are in reverse because of the Saturn energy that's happening collective. Saturn retrograde, the energy of Saturn is turned inward. So if you have more planets in Capricorn, or if you are a Capricorn or have strong Capricorn placements in your chart, you might definitely feel this energy a lot more. So you're really, I feel like it might take some time for you to figure this out. But the process that you're going through, I feel like it might be a slower process to kind of unravel all of this, or for things to play out in the physical world. But I feel like at the end of the day, you are ready to move towards something that inspires you, something where you can shine in a leadership position, or perhaps even run your own business. But you have to make time to listen to your intuition. So again, amethyst is helpful for you as well because it helps you get in touch with your spiritual purpose. So I hope this reading was helpful. Stick around if you chose or felt drawn to pile 2 or 3. All right, if you chose pile 2, we have a hematite quartz. This is a red quartz. So quartz is a very active energy, and red is an active color. Red is for your root chakra. So you could be dealing with issues that have to do with your feelings of safety and security, your passions, and something in your material world. So let's see. All right, all right, that feels better like that. All right. Oh my gosh, this energy is pretty crazy too. 7 of Wands in reverse. Okay. All right, look at all these cards. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, we definitely put a lot. All right, so I'm just gonna put those there. All right, pile 2. At the heart of the matter, we have strength in reverse, and it's being crossed by Princess of Swords, which is your Page of Swords. When strength comes up in reverse, there could either be a Leo in your energy field, or you are the Leo. When Leo's in reverse, it's kind of a selfish and egotistical energy, or somebody who's demanding and controlling. So there could be somebody like that in your environment. This could be an aspect of yourself, or this could be you. Strength is also about, because when Leo is upright, when Leo is living in its like highest potential, Leo is very proud, Leo is bold, Leo is courageous, Leo is loving and has a huge heart. So Leo in reverse could feel less connected to their heart right now, or it could be that you just don't feel like you can tame the inner beast within, because the strength card result is about taming the beast within, calming the lion within you, being mindful not to roar so loud that you're hurting others. So it's about kind of balance in a way. But when it's in reverse, you may not feel like you're able to tame that beast within you, or you feel like you're having a hard time kind of reeling in those parts of yourself, or again, this could be somebody else. But Page of Swords is a message, and you're waiting for a message from somebody. This could be from an earth energy, so Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. This could be the beginning of a new idea, change in thinking patterns. Perhaps you're moving out of that energy. Definitely. I feel like you're definitely moving out of that energy. So unconscious energies. 7 of Wands is about when it's upright. 7 is about having belief in ourselves. If we don't believe we can do something, then we won't be able to do it, because we'll just manifest it. So when 7 of Wands is in reverse, I feel like it's a challenge to believe in ourselves. If we want something to happen, I feel like the 7 of Wands says you can have what you want, you can make what you want happen, but you have to have self-belief. That card's all about self-belief. Very similar energy to the strength card. It's about self-belief. The strength was in reverse, and then this is also in reverse. So I feel like in the past, unconsciously, you don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe in something. And I feel like it's connected to the way that you're viewing your past. 5 of Cups has to do with our mindset and things that happen. So something could have happened in the past, and something bad. But whenever something bad happens, there's always something good that comes after it. And we always have the choice whether or not we're going to see that good thing or not, because when something leaves our life, it creates space for something new and better come in. However, a lot of people will have something leave their life and they think, oh, I lost it. I lost something that I really cared about. It must mean I'm, you know, crappy, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is. But really, when that thing leaves your life, it's because you've up leveled. You're not a vibrational match to the thing that left your life anymore, because you've been growing, you've been asking for more as a soul, as a person, for new experiences in your life. That's why that thing had to leave. So the Five of Cups in reverse is like, maybe you weren't able to see that, and maybe you have a tendency to look at the negative instead of the positive. It's looking at the cups that have spilled rather than the cups that are still left. This can also be an energy of just really sitting in the past and harping over the past. But when we go over the past too much, they say when we feel depression, it's because we're thinking about the past. So if we feel depression and we're thinking about the past a lot, then it manifests in our current situation, and we tend to attract people, places, and things that are a vibrational match to the past, because that we're using the present moment to think about the past, and we're using the present moment, which is where all your power is. We're using our very precious energy to mull over something negative that happened in the past. So rather than being present, you're just kind of recycling these negative experiences. So presently, there's the 10 of Cups energy. So this is a really good energy. This is a happy home life. This is fulfilling relationships. This is a really positive energy. People coming together, relationship fulfillment. Incoming is the Death. So something is changing. So that could be your attitude and how you see things could be changing. Your belief systems could be changing. Somebody could be coming in that's helping you change your beliefs. And then we have, you know, your internal energy. We have the World, which is ending of cycles, and then Two of Pentacles in reverse. This is an interesting energy. This is kind of like the karmic completion of a pattern. And then this is Two of Pentacles in reverse, is struggling to maintain a balance right now. So two options, two choices: love versus work, love versus career. Something is out of balance. This could be like a karmic cycle that you've been in. Perhaps you've never been able to balance the two. Maybe you have had a hard time finding balance in relationships, or believing in yourself. And that manifests in your relationships. But again, I feel like this cycle is coming to a close. And then let's see, what else is, this is a lot of like really big energy and really big shifts. And that's probably why you picked an active crystal, because this is a really grounding energy. Hematite quartz is the earth energy, but it's also an active energy. They use quartz in watches and electronics because it channels and transmits energy. It's like a radio, receiver. So meditating with this crystal, wearing this crystal, it's a very energizing, activating crystal, and it's really good. This is awesome for your belief system. It takes your negative thoughts and transforms them into something more positive. It looks like in the external environment, that's happening right now with this Wheel of Fortune and Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles energy is us hanging on to something and being afraid to spend it or let it go because we don't trust that it's going to come back. So we can do that with money, or we can do that with relationships. So what it looks like in relationships is like, I don't want my partner to talk to any other people. I want all my partner's attention. I'm afraid to let them. I'm afraid to think about them having fun without me. But when we do that, we're holding on too tight. It's like trying to hold on to grains of sand. You're just going to drop the sand because you can't hold on to it. It's like you have to have a loose grip to, cup some of that sand, versus like if you squeeze it, it's just going to like run through your fingers. So that's in reverse. But I feel like that's changing. I think that's why the Wheel of Fortune is right here. The Wheel of Fortune is very similar energy to this Five of Cups in reverse. Wheel of Fortune also says like bad things and good things are always going to happen. That is the nature of life. So suffering is, what's the word? Suffering is life. Like we're always going to suffer, but how do we deal with that suffering? Are we going to allow it to help us grow? Because when we accept the suffering and we say, okay, what is this suffering trying to teach me? And we don't sit in it, but we sit with it. And there's a difference. There's a difference between sitting in it and letting us consume it and believing that we are the suffering. The thoughts are us. But when we observe the suffering, we observe ourselves suffering. We are the observer looking at the emotion that we're feeling. Like we can allow that, you know, we don't over attach with it, so we don't over identify with it, so we can feel it, and we can ask what that suffering and that painful situation is trying to teach us. But it's easier for it to move out of our lives when we can view it as a conscious observer rather than over identifying with it. So meditation helps us do this. Meditation, being able to quiet your mind, it's very hard to do that in this world, by the way, because people always have their phones, people are always notifications going off 24/7, being at work 24/7, having people text you 24/7, scrolling social media 24/7. There's hardly any quiet time anymore. So it would make sense why a lot of people get stuck in this energy. So I would say meditation could be really beneficial. Wearing a quartz crystal, meditating with a quartz crystal, putting it by the third eye. And I recommend wearing jewelry, especially with this energy, because it recalibrates your body's frequency to the frequency of the crystal. And these are very ancient. These are real crystals. I mean, you can get the ones from China. They don't work, but if you get a real one, like this is holding on to Mother Earth's energy. This has been around for probably, I don't know, millions or thousands of years. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure some are newer, but still it holds on to the Earth's frequency and that natural frequency and the core soul of your, the core frequency of your soul, like what we're born into. And we're so disconnected from nature these days. Especially, you know, we're inside all the time for the most part. We're just not really in touch with the elements like our ancestors used to be. So I feel like it's really important to be able to hold on to these little pieces of magic and you know, utilize them to your advantage, especially if you're struggling. So one of the things quartz can help with is you can program it with a positive intention. They actually use quartz in electronics. I think I already mentioned that, because it transmits and amplifies energy. So it amplifies the power of other crystals and positive emotions. It harmonizes your environment. And this is a red crystal. It has to do with the root chakra. So your survival instincts and just being alive in these bodies on this earth. So Wheel of Fortune says, good things are going to happen and bad things are going to happen. The best things in our life are eventually going to cause us pain. And then the worst things in our life are eventually going to lead to better things, because they're going to make us stronger people. But it's all about how we look at it. So I feel like, you know, Wheel of Fortune might be changing this attitude, and maybe you're coming to that realization that instead of holding on to things so tightly, maybe you're going to give yourself more of an opportunity to allow things to happen and to surrender. Hopes and fears. Ace of Swords, a new idea. And Eight of Pentacles is about being a hobbyist or possibly going back to school. Eight of Pentacles, you see she's painting, but she's got all the pentacles behind her, which represents all the options and opportunities that she has. Eight is about expansion. Eight is about reaping karmic rewards. Eight could be also about going back to school. So I feel like there's a new idea, but perhaps you're afraid to explore that idea. Maybe you had a new idea to explore these hobbies and interests and passion, but you're kind of afraid right now, or you're hopeful. And then it looks like the final outcome, the Devil in reverse. I feel like the Devil in reverse is about overcoming your ego, allowing that, because when the Devil's upright, it represents materialism. So when it is in reverse, it could be about, let's see, Four of Cups. It's next to the Four of Cups. Four of Cups upright is about, you see a person meditating, and there's three cups in front of her, and then there's one above her head, which represents the help from spirit. And these represent in the material world. And they're not fulfilled with the cups in front of them. They can't see the opportunities that spirit has. So I feel like you could, you know, be bored with something, seeking something more spiritual, and kind of wanting to get out of this devil energy, this addictive energy, wanting to overcome your ego, because I feel like a lot of this reading has been about ego, overcoming the ego, waiting for some kind of message. Perhaps some kind of message is the thing that made you feel like you're not, you know, that you don't trust yourself. But again, Seven Wands being in reverse and Five of Cups is all very much energy of, I don't believe in myself. I need to have more confidence. But then again, the death energy, like something is dying. And the other thing, sometimes when we have these beliefs that need to change, sometimes when we're in the process of an ego death, like the devil, we have negative things happen in our environment. The Wheel of Fortune comes to shake things up. The world comes to end cycles and throw out those old foundations that you had so that death can come through and transform you. Old cycles are ending and new cycles are beginning. And I feel like in the next cycle, you're going to be able to overcome that ego. So I just want to take, let's get one more card of advice for pile 2. The High Priestess. This is a very different energy than the Devil. The Devil is very attached to the spiritual world, and I feel like red, if you resonate, if you're a person that feels like you have to work all the time, if you're chasing money a lot, if you care what people think about you a lot, if you're being honest with yourself, that's all very red energy. It's like very focused on the material world and what you have, in front of you. The High Priestess is kind of an opposite energy. She's the quiet energy. The masculine energy is kind of, we think of that as taking charge. It's an action-oriented energy, but this High Priestess is like, try something different. Let's lay back. Let's sit back and meditate. Let's clear our heads. Let's listen to some calming meditation music. Let's go lay out in nature. Let's quiet our minds so that we can hear the voice of spirit. And I think that's the biggest thing that you need right now. So red crystals could be good for balancing your root chakra, and quartz could also be good because quartz is a positive energy. Smoky quartz might also be helpful because smoky quartz absorbs negative energy, especially if you feel like you're done with being like alive on this earth and you're just not resonating with earth and you feel like you're on the verge of like a spiritual awakening or ego death. Smoky quartz could be really good, but I feel like any kind of quartz would be beneficial for you. And if you are interested in a custom piece of jewelry, I also make custom jewelry or in keychains if you don't wear jewelry, but all of that can be helpful because you're holding it to your body's auric field and it's recalibrating your energy. So thank you for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this reading. I also do personal readings, so stick around and look in the description if you are interested in booking a personal reading. All right, thank you. Hello. If you chose pile 3, you chose rose quartz. Rose quartz is a very, very soft, loving, calming, peaceful energy. And these are the oracle cards, so I'm very interested to see what we're going to pull for you. All right. Hope that's not too many. Let's see. All right. Nope, that's perfect. All right. So at the heart of the reading, we have focus in reverse crossed by diligence. So focus in reverse could mean that there could be a lot going on for you right now and you're having a hard time focusing your energy. You could be feeling scatterbrained. You could be suffering from ADHD. You could just really not know where you want to put your focus and your attention. And what's interesting about this card is it's I believe that's a leopard. It's a cat, a hunting cat. So this kind of energy is very focused. It's focused on its prey, on its goals. But when it's in reverse, I feel like you're not in that energy for some reason. And I feel like what's crossing you is maybe, diligence. And what diligence is, it's a picture of a bird flying overhead. Diligence card is about seeing things from a higher perspective and seeing the bigger picture. So perhaps you're not able to focus right now because you don't see the end goal. So it's kind of like, could be the energy of like, if you're at a job right now, you, if this is a career reading, it reminds me of the energy of kind of like going to work every day, like that 9-to-5 job, and it's very monotonous and you're not really fulfilled at that work, but you're just trying to make money for the sake of making money. But do you know why you're making money? Just because you're supposed to. But it's like, do you even know what you would buy if you had $100,000 in savings from retirement? Or are you going to get to the age of 60 and be like, I'm retired now. What should I do? I finally achieved my goals making money, but what am I going to do with it now? And sometimes we need that higher perspective in order to light a fire under us to help us focus. So that could be having to do with career. It could also just do with life. There could be a lot of things going on right now, and in order to make progress on any one of them, I feel like it's calling for diligence, kind of like really, instead of having your energy scattered in a lot of different directions, maybe just focusing on one path. Change is at the heart of this. It's kind of what's on an unconscious level creating this, and lack of adventure. So in the past, I feel like maybe you were not feeling very adventurous and things weren't very exciting. Things could have been monotonous. You could have been dreaming about traveling or just doing something exciting, but felt blocked from it. On an unconscious level, there could have been a change that you we're fighting, or there could be a change that something that needs to change. Maybe you know that something needs to change, but you're afraid to take action on that. Or this is you fighting change, or this is you waiting for a change. What's in the present energy? Healing chaos. This is an intense energy. This is kind of like the Tower in tarot, but this is in reverse. So I feel like something is telling me you might be uncomfortable with that change, and you don't think you're ready for the change. Or there's so much going on that it's making you have a hard time focus. But healing chaos is a really positive card. And if you can see, there's butterflies in here. So sometimes we create chaos in our lives when we're bored, when our soul needs a change. We also have Saturn retrograde right now, and that brings a lot of karmic events, can bring karmic relationships into our lives, or kind of long-term relationships and commitments are under review at this time as well. So I don't know, it could be that there's an energy that feels a little bit chaotic right now. You might be fighting it. You might not really be having a hard time seeing it from a higher perspective. Like, why did I just lose my house? Why did I just lose my job? Why is my finances bad? Why did I lose my relationship? And when people lose a lot of things at once, a lot of times it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to move on from this. I'm so broken. I'll never find a love again. I'll never find a better paying job. I'll never do this. But in reality, when we have these tornadoes come through our lives, it's really clearing space for something new. Like, the universe will never take away something from you without intending to replace it with something better. We are the only ones who stand in our own way, and we stand in our own way by not having faith and trust in the universe or God, or having any kind of spiritual practice. Like, we live in a world where it's very easy to not have any kind of spiritual practice, or any kind of and even if we are feeling spiritual, there's a lot of people out there who act like they're spiritual, or think that we're being spiritual, but then we're doing, ayahuasca every weekend. Probably not, that would be crazy. Or taking drugs all the time. And it's like, are you really having that moment with God when you're relying on external things to feel that connection, to create that connection? If you're relying on money to get there, if you're relying on experiences with drugs or alcohol, or seeking that high to get there, if you're not spending time alone with yourself and instead you're scrolling, and it's not bad to consume information, but if you are not balancing that with time by yourself to integrate the information, then you're still distracting yourself. So there's a lot of illusions in the world and things that distract us from having a spiritual practice that can kind of take away our faith, our ability to have faith. So healing chaos is the tornado coming through because your spirit and your soul needs it. It's ready for some kind of illumination, but this is in reverse. So I feel like you might be afraid of that, or you might be, I just feel like you're on the verge of a spiritual awakening. And rose quartz is a really soft, loving energy. So I feel like you drew this, we're drawn to this reading and this crystal because I feel like your heart needs a break right now, and you just need some peace. Rose quartz could be really helpful for you at this time, especially if you're experiencing a lot of chaotic energy and a lot of change, feeling blocked from fun and adventures, having to be diligent when you don't want to, and having a hard time focus. Just like, it just feels like a very chaotic energy to me. But I feel like it's all happening for the purpose of helping you find illumination and enlightenment. So also the healing chaos comes through because, and this healing chaos can again be in the form of a relationship that's not working out, or job that's not working out, something being taken away from you in the physical world. Maybe you're not able to see your kids, but the chaos, it's all bringing something to light. It's illuminating something. And if you spend all your time and energy focusing on like what's going wrong and what these other people, places, and things did to wrong you, and you don't look internally, and you don't talk to God or your higher power about it, and ask what is this illuminating within me? What fears is this illuminating within me? Then we'll never, achieve that illumination, which is where the abundance and the joy and the happiness and the fulfillment of being alive comes through. Wow, you're really I feel like you're on the verge of an awakening. Gateway in reverse means I feel like you're on the edge. I don't know. Are you afraid to go? Are you afraid to believe in something bigger than you? Are you afraid to believe in magic and to put your faith in magic? Are you a person that just feels like you know, you crave stability to the point of, you know, not leaving any room for fun because you're so worried, you don't have any faith that your bills are going to get paid if you go do something nice for yourself for once, or if you know, take a risk and go buy something nice for yourself. Are you afraid you're not going to make that money back? Or, you know, if you take a risk in love, you're going to get hurt. But I feel like, you know, you're on the verge of a big change. I feel like the universe is, you know, showing you a lot of things right now. Trying to get you out of this energy. That's what the chaos is trying to do for you. So I feel like you really, rose quartz would be really helpful. This energy is very soft and loving. It's like being, you know, it's like having a hug from, you know, a very motherly energy. And this is also a really good energy for sensitive children too, by the way. Truth in reverse, this is external energy. So this is people who are in your energy field, or this is like externally, like on the inside, you're on the brink of a change. You're maybe afraid to move into the authentic you and be your true self. So on the outside, you could be wearing this mask. You could be doing a job that doesn't feel fulfilling. You could be having, you know, hanging out with groups of friends that aren't fulfilling. You could be in a relationship that doesn't speak to your soul. You could have a job that's not in alignment with your soul's higher calling, but something is not authentic. And I feel like you're being called to have courage. This is the hopes and fears position. Maybe you're afraid to have courage, or you want to have courage. I feel like it's really important for you to have courage and do something different, step outside of the box and do something new. And don't be afraid of that chaos. It's not a bad thing. And the best thing about this reading is that you've got miracles and opportunity, because these are really powerful cards in the Oracle. Miracles, it's telling me that abundance is coming. Miracles are happening. Miracles happen every day. So don't give up the faith. And opportunity kind of reminds me of this energy, how everything runs in cycles. I love astrology, and I love, you know, manifestation practices, like using the moon to manifest new opportunities and experiences in my life. The moon, we just had a new moon on the 18th. So the new moon is a time of new beginnings. The energy is rising after a new moon. In a couple days, I believe we're approaching a first quarter moon. So when first quarter moon approaches, that is when the moon is kind of like a crescent moon like that. So there's some light, but most of it is still unconscious. So the energy is rising. We're getting more illumination about something in our lives. We're seeing how whatever seeds we planted on the 18th are starting to manifest. A lot of people want instant answers because our brains are trained that way with social media, with notifications going off all the time. I just feel like we live in a society where we expect instant gratification at this point, not to mention all the drugs and alcohol that people do. Like, maybe you don't do that, but, you know, I just feel like that's common in, you know, college age kids, or like younger students, or young adults, or even older adults. Like, you know, people have fun, but all that stuff does have consequences to your brain. It kind of messes with your serotonin and your mental health. It kind of makes us crave that instant gratification. Then we continue to use those substances or those things. It doesn't have to be about a substance. It can, you know, sometimes we use people to satisfy the instant gratification. If we don't want to be alone, it's like you can call a friend, or you can get on your phone and watch a movie or scroll or whatever you do. So we have to wait for the right opportunity. All right. Sorry, pile 3, my phone died. But I was saying, these are really good opportunities for you to move forward. This is a really positive energy that you're stepping into. If you just trust that miracles are coming, and you allow the right opportunities to come to you, and just understand that on Earth, we're kind of bound by bound by limitations of just like what's happening with astrology or the moon cycles. What I like about astrology and moon cycles is that it shows us that everything runs in cycles. So there's an opportunity for things to manifest. So I think I was explaining before how new moons are a time to plant seeds and set new intentions, while about a week later we have the first quarter moon, which brings some challenges to those new ideas. But we get a chance with that rising light and consciousness to see how things are playing out and to explore those opportunities, while the first quarter moon brings about some challenges. But then a week from that quarter moon, we'll have the full moon, which was when the energy is at its peak. So it brings us, we have a kind of a simultaneous realization of a need and a lack. And after we have that epiphany during the full moon, and something manifests in the external world, then the energy is winding down again. Just and then in the next 2 weeks we'll have another new moon again. So it just shows us the cycles in life. We're always going to have be planting new seeds and wanting new things. And sometimes it's going to be big things that we want, and sometimes it's just a little thing. Like we might want maybe we want to work out more. Maybe we want to focus on spending more time with our children this month, or our spouse, or things like that. So I feel like despite all this chaos that's going on right now, all that chaos is asking you to have courage. So and to believe and to wait for the right opportunity, because I do really honestly strongly believe that good things are coming for you. And if you need some loving, nurturing energy in the meantime, I highly suggest either meditating or sleeping with having this in your room, a rose quartz. It's a very calming energy. And I also love to wear crystals as jewelry, real crystals, not the fake stuff, because the real ones do vibrate at a certain frequency, and when you wear it on or near your body, it recalibrates your energy field to the vibration of the crystal. So whatever crystal healing abilities these crystals have, you're absorbing that energy through the heart center, or through the third eye center, wherever you need it on your body. So you're recalibrating your auric field to that energy. So this is a very calming energy. So if you need, if you are just feeling really stressed out and you need some extra love and nurturing, I would highly recommend rose quartz jewelry, or meditating with this crystal. And if you're interested in a custom piece of jewelry, I make custom jewelry and keychains and stuff like that. If you're not into jewelry, but keychains are good because you can keep them near you too. Most people have their keys on them a lot. So if you are interested in custom jewelry, or interested in a more personal reading, I also do personal reading. So you can go ahead and message me on my social pages, and the information is in my bio. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped.